was a politically charged day today in Mandsaur in Madhya Pradesh, the epicenter of violent farmer protests for days now. Today, Rahul Gandhi tried to go there and was repeatedly stopped and then finally arrested. He was released a little while ago, but spoke to the families of the farmers from where he had been detained. The state's Home Minister admitted today that the police did open fire on protesting farmers earlier this week. In fact, that is what the state government has also told the Home Ministry in a report. 5 farmers were killed in that firing.
इनके ऊपर सीधे सीने पे गोली चलाई गई, कोई वार्निंग नहीं दी गई, कोई टीयर गैस नहीं, कोई पानी नहीं, कुछ नहीं। तो ये बिल्कुल गलत है और पूरी की पूरी कार्रवाई होगी। सरकार ने कहा कि गोली हमने चलाई ही नहीं, सरकार ने झूठ बोला। मैं इनके पास सिर्फ मिलने आया हूं, गले लगने आया हूं और इनको ये आश्वासन देना चाहता हूं कि मैं आपके साथ खड़ा हूं। इसमें क्या कंट्रोवर्सी आप मुझे बता दो। क्या मैं हिंदुस्तान का नागरिक नहीं हूं? क्या मैं मध्य प्रदेश में नहीं जा सकता हूं? क्या मैं उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं जा सकता हूं? जो सुरक्षा व्यवस्था है उसको तोड़ के जिस तरह से प्रयास किया है, ये उचित नहीं है। पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय नेता हैं और वो बाइक पे बिना हेलमेट के और जिस तरह से जैसे कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट जिस तरह से करते हैं, इस तरह से सारा घटनाक्रम उन्होंने किया।
एक भूतपूर्व मंत्री, एक भूतपूर्व 10 साल तक का मुख्यमंत्री, हम क्या आग लगाने आए? हम आग बुझाने आए हैं।
चर्चा करके समस्याओं का समाधान हो सकता है, लेकिन कुछ अराजक तत्व प्रदेश को हिंसा की आग में झोंकना चाहते हैं, उनसे हम सख्ती से निपटेंगे।
एनडीए की सरकार, बीजेपी की सरकार कोई ऐसा काम नहीं करेगी जिससे कि किसानों का अथवा देश के किसी सामान्य नागरिक का भरोसा और विश्वास उससे टूटे।
Well, lots to talk about, not just the politics, but also the economics of it. Those farm loan waivers itself now being questioned by many economists. Others, however, say it's unfair when corporates have got loan waivers that run into much, much higher numbers. Joining us tonight, Dr. Rajiv Kumar, the director of the Pehle India Foundation, Nikhil Dey, who of course has been working in this sector for several years now. Satyapal Singh, Lok Sabha MP of the BJP, is with us tonight. We'll be joined by Randeep Singh Surjewala of the Congress and Mr. Krishnabir Chaudhary of the Bharatiya Krishak Samaj, which is a farming body, a farmers body, the president of the farmers body, here in the studio with us. Satyapal Singh ji, let me ask you first. So, would you admit that this is actually quite a crisis that not just the Madhya Pradesh government but the centre also faces? This farmer agitation has really become quite huge, not just in MP but in Maharashtra as well, where it seemed to be dying down. It's picking up pace again, but thankfully hasn't turned violent.
I admit, and unfortunately in India, we forgot about British India even after independence. The successive governments, they never bothered about the problems being faced by the farmers. And it is the first time that the Modi government took farm-focused schemes which actually aimed to ameliorate the conditions of the farmers as well as villagers. But the conditions, the problems going on, whether it's Maharashtra or any other state or what has happened in the Madhya Pradesh, it's really very, very sad. And my heart goes to those bereaved families who have lost their members. And I'm sure this Madhya Pradesh government, they will try their best the way they have announced the compensation. Their problems are really genuine. In fact, there are appalling inefficiency in our agriculture sector. And state as well as the center government, they have to unite their hands, head and hands to solve these problems.
Lekin Satyapal ji, let me ask you very frankly, do you think that the situation in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra has been badly handled? I mean, now today the Madhya Pradesh government is admitting that the police opened fire on the protesting farmers. 5 farmers have been killed in that protest. Do you think that this could have been better handled?
Certainly, it could have been better handled. First of all, in a democracy, the negotiating table is the last resort, whether you indulge in agitation or not, but ultimately one has to come to the negotiating table. But the administration or the state government, they must have shown the restraint the way they have handled it. Perhaps they could have handled it in a better way. I would also like to add that no government whether under rule of any party, irrespective of any party in power, cannot allow any anarchy to prevail in the society. The farmers or agitationists or the protesters, nobody can allow them to indulge in arson and this violence. But the way this has been handled, I think it is, much improvement required to be done.
Well, at least you're being honest, Satyapal ji. You're saying that it could have been handled differently. Randeep Singh Surjewala, today the BJP though is also saying that what happened in Mandsaur with Rahul Gandhi trying to go there and the kind of drama that we saw that played out throughout the day was nothing but a photo op. At this time what was needed was to calm tempers, and that he made it a political photo op. How does the Congress respond to that accusation that this wasn't the right time for him to go there?
Nidhi, just a simple question that needs to be asked by every right-thinking individual is, does a political party and a leader have a right to go as also meet the victims of any such brutal police firing which leads to cold-blooded murder or not? Mr. Gandhi, as leader of the principal opposition party, went to Madhya Pradesh to do what? Not to fuel passions, not to ensure that there was more violence, but only to ensure and express solidarity with those who died and demand rightfully in our democracy that those who are killers of these farmers in cold-blooded fashions must be proceeded. Also saw videos of the violence in which police itself is targeting motorcycles, is targeting civilians, is also breaking own vehicles. So who was really at fault is still something that is a matter of question, but two simple issues arise. Is it or is it not true that Mr. Modi came to power promising cost plus 50% profit to farmer? The answer is yes. Is it not true that Modi government refused to do so after coming to power through an affidavit in Supreme Court? The answer is again yes. Is it not true that Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, both the places where farmers are agitating, they are agitating for what? Their onion crop is selling at 20 rupees a kg. Their potato crop is selling at 20 to 30 rupees a kg. Same thing is happening to rest of their crops. No credit is available to them. The farmer is actually driven to suicide.
So
14 years of BJP government in power in Madhya Pradesh, and all that we have is cold-blooded murder of farmers, which is not spreading to other districts.
Okay, so you're saying the government has failed on its promises.
And ask.
You're saying the government has failed on its promises and that you're well within your rights to make this a political issue, because it is very much a political issue obviously today. Mr. Krishnabir Chaudhary is here in the studio with me, and Chaudhary ji, आप कल भी हमारे प्रोग्राम में आए थे. आपका ये मानना है कि ये जो धरनाएं हो रही हैं, ये जो प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है, ये सिर्फ फार्मर्स प्रोटेस्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप आज भी कह रहे हैं कि इसमें कुछ कोई भड़का रहा है इनको?
निधि जी, एक बात बहुत स्पष्ट कह देना चाहता हूं राजनीतिक दलों से, और नम्र निवेदन करने चाहता हूं कि किसानों के नाम पर बहुत कर लिया आपने धोखाधड़ी और खेल. किसानों का शोषण आज नया नहीं हुआ रणदीप जी. आप पिछले 15 सालों को उठा के देख लीजिए. 2 रुपए किलो टमाटर पहले भी बिका है, 1.5 रुपए किलो प्याज नासिक में फिकी है सड़कों पर, आलू बिका है पंजाब से लेके और उत्तर प्रदेश तक. शोषण तो बराबर होता रहा. 2004 में एक फार्मर कमीशन बनाया गया था, 2007 में रिपोर्ट आ गई थी, 7 साल तक उस रिपोर्ट को उठाकर रद्दी की टोकरी में फेंक दिया गया था. ये मैं सरकारों की कार्यशैली की बात इसलिए कर रहा हूं कि किसान एक दिन में आज इन परिस्थितियों में नहीं आया. किसान पिछले 15 सालों में 3 लाख से ज्यादा ने कर्ज में आकर आत्महत्या की है. सरकार में जब व्यक्ति होते हैं तो सोच उनकी कुछ और होती है, सरकार के बाहर आने के बाद और है. लेकिन उसके साथ एक निवेदन कि भोले भाले किसानों के उस आंदोलन में जिस तरीके से चीजें सामने आई हैं, उससे हमारी गर्दन शर्म से झुक जाती है. मैं कुछ चीजें रणदीप जी आपकी जानकारी में लाना चाहता हूं जो किसानों के आंदोलन के लिए कतई शोभा नहीं देता. इस पिक्चर को देख लीजिए, पूरा देश देख लेगा किस तरीके से दूध को सड़कों पर राजनीतिक दल के कार्यकर्ताओं के द्वारा फेंका गया है. अमूल के टैंकर की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा, जिस तरीके से अमूल के टैंकर को वहां लाके राजनीतिक दलों के लोगों ने सड़क पे खोला। मैं इन नौजवानों से सवाल पूछता हूं, क्यों किसानों के नाम पर आप राजनीतिक दल के कार्यकर्ता होने के बाद आपने सब किया? दूसरी पिक्चर इसी के साथ मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि ये कार्यकर्ता है इंडियन यूथ कांग्रेस का श्याम गुर्जर, आपका पुराना सिपाही रहा होगा, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, और ये मंदसौर के यूनिवर्सिटी का छात्र रहा है, और वो कहता है 4 तारीख को 1 बज के मैं टाइम आपको बता रहा हूं कि 1:22 पे कहता है, मंदसौर जिले के सभी किसान बंधुओं से मेरा हाथ जोड़कर निवेदन है, बहुत सीरियस बात है, राजनीतिक मत करिएगा बिल्कुल इस बात पर, कि अधिक से अधिक संख्या में महिला और पुरुष दोनों वर्ग के किसान अपने ट्रैक्टर मोटरसाइकिलों से मंदसौर का घेराव करें, और वह संख्या लाखों में होनी चाहिए। सांची डेयरी में रखा 40,000 लीटर दूध तबाह करना है। सभी गांव के किसानों से
तो आपका कहना है कि
मेरा अनुरोध है निधि जी कि अधिक से अधिक संख्या में आकर इस किसान यूनियन को, और ये कहां पहुंचे? किसान महाराणा प्रताप बस स्टैंड पर। ये दूसरी बात
नहीं, मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूंगी, ठीक है, जो आपने अभी पढ़ा वो अभी मैं रणदीप सुरजेवाला से पूछूंगी, लेकिन
रणदीप जी से
मैं पूछूंगी
जेसीबी से रोड सड़क उखाड़ेंगे।
चौधरी जी आप मुझे बताइए कि इसका मतलब तो ये नहीं है कि ये जो सारे लोग अभी धरना कर रहे हैं, प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं,
ठीक है, मैंने हिंसा की बात की, किसान दूध नहीं फेंकेगा,
लेकिन जो किसान की अभी मुश्किलात हैं, जो अभी प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं,
बाजार ने किसानों को बर्बाद कर दिया। मैं वही बात रणदीप जी से कहने आ रहा था कि कारपोरेट एग्रीकल्चर मॉडल को उदारीकरण की नीतियों के बाद यूपीए 1 ने, यूपीए 2 ने और वर्तमान सरकारों ने जारी रखते हुए जिस तरीके से किसान को बाजार से बाहर किया है, ये समाधान नहीं है। किसान को बिचौलियों से मुक्त करवाने के लिए पॉलिसीज अपनानी पड़ेंगी, सीधे उपभोक्ता से जोड़ेंगे, तब होगा जब उनको कच्चा माल से बर्बाद हो रहा है।
जो आपने कहा, I will take that to Randeep Surjewala in just a moment. Mr. Surjewala, give me a second. I want to get Dr. Rajiv Kumar and Nikhil Dey into this because there's a more substantive point to be made as well. Dr. Rajiv Kumar, there has now been a debate that has emerged over the last few days among columnists, economists about whether these farm loan waivers in the long term are sustainable or not. Swaminathan Iyer has written about it, others have. It began with the UP government and now you have other state governments asking for the same. The other argument is that when you have the RBI's own numbers talking about some 1 lakh crores of bad loans that have been waived to corporates and only 60,000 crores to farmers, why is it that we crib about farm loan waivers when corporates get a free pass? Dr. Rajiv Kumar.
Let's not forget that in 2008-9, the then Finance Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, had a farm loan waiver measuring 68,000 crores. Let's also not forget that there have been several occasions of these farm loan waivers, and yet the farmers' plight, the farmers' poor condition has never actually improved on a sustained basis. I want to say two things, Nidhi. One, that while these loans may be from economic point of view not desirable, they are necessary to get the farmers away out of their plight, which, and this is my second point, which is because of the sad state in which our agriculture is. And that state of agriculture is because the agriculture has been a victim of bad politics and bad economics. Bad politics because every political party that I know wants to sort of mobilize the farmers, mislead the farmers and use them as cannon fodder for their political ends. And bad economics because we are not clear at all as to how we will improve productivity, income, yields in our agriculture, without which farmers' incomes will not go up and this cycle will continue to get repeated. And I'm afraid, I must say, that the media plays into this because rather than focus your discussions on substantive issues, we have spent, for example, in this case, the first good part of our discussion simply on rhetoric and nothing else, which will take us nowhere.
But let me ask you then, Rajiv Kumar, as the RBI governor has said actually in the past, and he sort of repeated that yesterday, that these loan waivers are ultimately a moral hazard. Ultimately, it's a political decision that is taken to go ahead with them. How do we get out of this cycle if they're not working even for farmers? What is the way out?
you know, the moral hazard question arises equally strongly for corporate loans.
Absolutely.
9 lakh crore of non-performing assets, of which at least 50 to 60% will be bailed out, and the cost will be borne by the Indian taxpayer. Let's be clear on that. So that to that extent, the 60,000 or a lakh crore of farmers' loans, yes, they create moral hazard, but moral hazard is the ruling environment in this country. How they will improve, how we'll get out of it, is by focusing on ways and means and policies to convert Indian agriculture from its backward state, which it is in today, and make it more productive. Something which the Prime Minister has talked about, and something which some policies have now begin to get directed to. For example, the creation of the ENAMs, the internet-based agricultural mandis, the abolition of the APMC, which has been hanging fire for decades now, but has been done only recently. You know, the beginning of greater investment, public investment in agricultural infrastructure. Do you know that public investment in Indian agriculture has been declining for the last 30 years, and it still has not been, that trend has still not been reversed? So those are the issues which need to be tackled to put Indian agriculture out of its current mess.
Nikhil Dey, do you get a sense though that these latest farmer protests have actually taken the state governments and the centre by surprise? And they're just sort of trying to get a grip on the situation, and why is it as widespread as it is? And about the loan waiver issue, Nikhil, then what's the way out of that cycle according to you?
So today the loan waiver is a necessity because there is so much pressure that has been built up and so much rural distress, farmer distress and rural distress. And I think that if the state and central governments are not aware of what kind of distress exists across the country in many states, then they really are in for many shocks to come. Today, the agricultural sector, and we are in a very ironic situation, actually agricultural productivity increased, but incomes have gone down. Farmers are not getting money for their produce. Who will be in farming? Who will be able to sustain themselves? Why are there these suicides? So we are talking about this not in a drought year when there is no productivity, not in a situation, I agree with Rajivji, productivity is an important issue. But today we are talking about income. Nobody will survive doing whatever they want to do without incomes. So we have to be able to look at what it is that we can do to make sure we are importing tur dal. We are making sure that people are not getting money for whatever they have produced. So the farmers have to be in some way sustained for what they are producing and what they are doing. And therefore there is a huge amount of anger. There is a mess in agriculture. It's at multiple levels. So it is at levels of where what you are talking about, infrastructure in agriculture. It is at the level of marketing. You have a minimum support price. Nobody is procuring. Today, you have the National Food Security Act, you have the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act on which money is to be spent. You should actually dovetail the things in a way in which farmers can be, and there's no one single answer, but there is no question that it is not just a farm loan waiver that is going to solve the problem. It is going to be that we will have to look at the distress that exists both for farmers who are landowners and for agricultural labor, and look at the rural distress that exists and pay attention to it. We are giving money to the corporate sector. Let's give half of that money but a lot of attention to
I think that's a good point.
More than half of our population.
Absolutely. Randeep Surjewala, let me come to the point that Mr. Chaudhary raised earlier now about the nature of these protests themselves, and that is important, and the reason that is important is because they have acquired a violent turn. How do you respond to his charge that Congress leaders at the very local level are instigating some of this violence?
Well, Nidhi, let me say this. To say that all the farmers who are protesting, including those who have been shot dead in cold-blooded encounter by the police, are all Congress workers is perhaps too far-fetched. Mr. Chaudhary would need to correct himself. Even Congress worker or a Congress sympathizer can also be a farmer. As far as I know, Krishanveer Chaudhary ji and I both have done umpteen number of farmers' agitation along with late Dr. Balram Jakhar, that doesn't make him a Congress worker at all. But the short point is, first, government lived in denial, and a deliberate denial. The Chief Minister of the state lied to the entire country when he said, and the Home Minister said, that police and paramilitary forces did not fire a single bullet. They had to today take a U-turn and conceded that it is police which had killed the farmers. You announce 2 lakh rupees one day, you announce 1 crore rupee one day. One day you say you will not buy potato, tomato or other crops of the farmer at minimum support price, as Mr. Day was saying. Today, because the situation has gone out of hand, you turn around and say you are going to buy. Yesterday you said there will be no loan waiver or interest waiver. Today you say there will be interest waiver and you will also consider loan waiver. Is this the manner in which the BJP government of Madhya Pradesh dealing with the farmers correct or not? That is the moot question, bereft of the political partisanship. So, and I as a farmer can tell you, when you were buying tur dal at 230 rupees kg, sir, Mr. Day, I was only getting 55 rupees or 50 rupees a quintal for it. The moot point is, where was the balance 230 minus 50, 180 rupees going, and in whose pockets was that money going? 10 years of Congress rule also saw a quantum jump in MSP, minimum support price. We guaranteed prices to the farmers. That's why the agri growth rate was 4.7%. which in first 2 years of Modi government was negative and is still hovering at about 1.6% today. That is where the problem is.
So, do you admit, Satyapal ji, that there has been a mishandling of the agriculture policy overall? That you've admitted that as far as the protests have concerned, that it could have been done differently. But does the government need to relook at how it is approaching the agriculture sector as a whole? And that you need to look at, as Rajiv Kumar was saying, a more long-term approach in reforming the backward state of Indian agriculture, as he put it.
Nidhi, I would like to say, and I am very happy that all are very enlightened panelists today. We all know that around more than 50% of this workforce work in agriculture, and most of them remain underemployed. So how to bring out these farmers out of this mess, out of the crisis is that we have to give them skills so that more and more farmers could be trained for other jobs. That is number one. Number two, we have to invest more and more in agriculture. Unfortunately, for the last about 3 years, in 2015, if Government of India allocated more than 16,000 crore, in the 2017 they allocated more than 41,000 crore. Number three, the agricultural inputs, they have to be made cheaper. For example, this first time in the history of independent India, the prices of fertilizer have come down, whether it is urea, whether MAP and all others, it has come down. Number two, whether it is procurement, unless we have the remunerative prices from the farm produce, unless the government ensure their procurement, their purchase, we farmers will not be happy. All these things, but I am sure this present BJP government, as far as center is concerned, the way they have started the schemes, whether it is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, whether it is Dr. Rajiv Kumar was mentioning about either ENAM, National Agricultural Market,
I think the question also is,
Yojana,
I think the question is that there is a reason farmers are protesting today, whether it is in Maharashtra, whether it is in Madhya Pradesh. We're hearing protests may happen in Punjab now as well. I think that has to be delved in a little more deeply. I have to take a break. I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight.